Hello everyone, my name is Foxy Games, and welcome to a new in-development game called Hardspace Shipbreaker. You play as an industrial employee who's out there breaking down old and obsolete ships. And I've played this game for about 3 to 4 hours now. It's pretty great, actually. It's got some very satisfying moments to it. In particular, just when something falls apart, which is usually a bad thing when it comes to your spaceships, but in this game you want them to. Okay, so the first thing you usually do is pick a ship. Right now, this is the highest grade ship I can get because I need to do one more thing to upgrade my certification level. But I didn't notice this before, there's a certain number of days you have to break them down and get parts out of them before the Lynx company, which you work for, claims the rest of it. So I'm actually just going to go with a one-day one because I literally only have to get a chair to level up my certification level. So we're going to go with the Western Wilson Mark 7. It is a mackerel small cargo ship. And we're going to salvage. Yes, going into the ship catalog basically allows you to stake a claim on one of these vessels. So you start off on your little dock of your habitation module. It's like a miniature O'Neill cylinder kind of thing going on there. It's just your habitat in space. And here's your ship that you break down. I had to turn down the volume for music a little bit. Hopefully you guys can hear me just fine. I'm a loud New Jerseyan, you probably can. Okay, so your cutting tool has two modes. You have your Isaac Clarke mode, and then you have the precision mode. For these engine nacelles, you want the precision mode. In fact, in most cases, you want precision mode. Now, once you get rid of that anchor point, and this is after you go through your training and everything, so you have this unlocked. By the way, press tab for your work order. Standard for this kind of ship, the reactor, its power cell, some nanocarbons and some metals, but we'll get to that later. Right click and hold, and you set up a tether. Release where you want it to go, and a tether pulls whatever you're salvaging down, or wherever you choose for it to go. In this case, these engine nacelles are reusable. SpaceX must have invented them, you know. And they go down to this barge, a recovery barge. Now, some things are not going to go in there. The outer plating is going to be recycled through here, and any soft metals, like the interior plating, is going to go in that forge there to be smelted down into new things. And your UI will tell you what goes where. Like if you hover over the nacelle, you see on the bottom, like below my cursor there, it says barge. So we know that this has to go down there. Lovely. Now, I could, in theory, just crack my way into this window here, because it is made out of destructible objects, and go in, take the chair that I need, and say I'm done with it. But there's a problem with that. If you crack into a ship that is pressurized, which this ship is, you can't really tell through here, but I know it is, you risk explosive decompression, which can damage things inside the ship. And depending on what gets knocked around and compromised, you could wind up blowing a hole in the hull, or even detonating the reactor if things are bad enough. You do not want explosive decompression.
Airlock pressure levels increasing.
So you come in through the airlock, you fly in, you find this little air conditioner looking guy over here.
Air pressure level decreasing.
And you siphon the air. Then you're free to open the airlock again.
Airlock pressure levels dropping.
As you can see, we have a view to the outside. The ship is now depressurized, and there is no danger in opening things up again. There's the reactor. We do not want to pull the reactor until we are very ready to do so, because as soon as you remove it from its coolant, it starts to melt down. So let's go over here. This is the cockpit. Very nice. This is a very small cargo ship, and ooh, a data drive. I'll take that. So we have computers, power junctions, more atmospheric regulators in here. We're not going to worry about that just yet because we need to make a way out. We could struggle to pull things through the airlock if we wanted to, but we're going to do it this way instead. Inside each ship you have these anchor points, just like the thrusters do. Get rid of the anchor points, and slowly the ship will begin to come apart at the seams. There we go. I am finding that the 3D controls and repair kits, very good. The 3D controls and the 0G stuff is causing me to unconsciously turn my head, like tilt my head when I'm floating around. It's given me a major cramp. I don't know if I'm unique in this, but it's just one of those things that I do. I get so immersed in the game that I'm trying to turn my head to see things, and well, I guess as a proof I wouldn't perform well in 0G. Good thing I'm a gamer and not an astronaut, right? And good thing I'm making no money doing YouTube yet instead of hundreds of thousands of dollars that I'm sure astronauts make. But anyway. There we go. So, we get rid of all these anchors, every single one. Oh, and bear in mind that your tool does have a heat limit, as you can see on the top of it. So, just be careful of that. You do not want... Oh, here we go. Your tool will get damaged more if you use it too much. Now, one of the panels is finally broken free. Hover over it and it says processor, blue, which is there. Anything blue goes into one of the two processors. Anything red on your HUD goes into the furnace, and anything green goes down to the barge.
Object accepted for processing. Credits deposited.
Now sometimes these things need a little help getting out. You just use your tether gun. Hold left click just to hold stuff. Right click gets you the actual tether. Grapple, that's what this thing is called. This is the basic gist of this game. There's no combat, as far as I can tell. There's no shooting or anything like that. You are...
Processing valuable objects.
You are that guy who, when the protagonist gets tired of his old ship, breaks it, buys a new one, you break down that old ship. That is the gist of this game, and I love it.
Oxygen reserves are low.
I need more air. And by the way, air in this game isn't free. Nothing is. Oh, I completed something or other, but anyway. Nothing in this game is free. That includes your oxygen, and it even includes the use of your equipment. Yes, you were hired by Link's company, but they did not give you equipment. They rent you equipment.
Stabilizing.
And by the way, that monetary amount you saw on there, that was a debt. You start off 1 billion credits in debt. Because this is this is what happens when mega corporations take over planet Earth, apparently. Beware. Let's see, that goes on the barge. You can press F to kind of shunt things. Depending on their size, it'll be easier or harder.
Accepted. Credits transferred.
Let's see, O2 canister, I could use that when I start running low on air. Yeah, a lot of the stuff that you see inside the ships, fuel, repair kits, med kits, these are all available for you to use. The company really doesn't want these, so you can just take them. You can take off the door consoles and throw them down onto the barge. The company will accept those as salvage. What I'm mainly after here are the chairs, because I only need one more chair to get a rank up. one more piece of furniture anyway, which, you know,
Salvage deposit accepted.
chairs of
Credits
furniture.
transferred.
Okay, but the big ticket item in here, in these smaller ships, is this baby right here. No, not this lamp, but we're going to take the lamp anyway because I usually wind up getting rid of them. It's the reactor core.
Salvage
Now,
secured.
pull that
Account
reactor,
credit applied.
give it a nice shove downward to give it some speed. As you can see, the music changes, your guy starts breathing heavily. He knows that he has a certain amount of time to get rid of this thing. Okay. Before it melts down.
Salvage secured. Credits deposited.
If the reactor were to melt down while inside this ship, it would blow a massive hole in it, probably knock it all around the salvage bay, and you'd basically just have to move on to the next one.
Salvage deposit accepted. Credits transferred.
You could still salvage something from a ship that's been blown up by its reactor, but probably not much, and the company wouldn't like it very much either.
Salvage secured. Account credit applied.
There are some story elements in this game.
About
What
5 minutes left in this shift, Cutter. Don't bite off more than you can chew.
the hell was that?
Weaver out.
Huh. I wonder what I hit. Something flammable? Oh well, I didn't die. Oh yes, and every shift has a time limit,
Credits deposited.
so you have to get as much as you can within that time limit. Yeah, this game right now is $20 on Steam. It is early access, but it's one of the most promising games I've seen in a while, honestly. It's one of the most unique, that's for sure. Like, when I play Space Engineers, you know, when the game actually feels like running at more than 2 frames per second, my favorite part is always salvaging. Breaking up old ships. I don't know why, there's just something satisfying about it. Maybe there's something wrong with me. But I enjoy it very much. Let me know in the comments if you guys do too. Alright, now this is a bit different from the other pieces of the ship. This is the cargo hatch. That goes down to the barge. Apparently that's reusable, so you have to always pay attention to what can be put where. Now, if you press T,
Secured. Account credit
you can
applied.
get an interior view of the ship. All of the bright yellow parts are anchor points that need to be cut before certain sections of the ship can be removed. And one of the easiest ways to gain access to the interior hull of the ship, between the actual inside of the ship and the exterior hull, is to take off the back thruster. So we take off the thruster cap, and we just kind of yeet that thing over to the salvage, to the processor. Please go in. It's going in. Perfect. Then
Valuable object processed. Credits awarded.
we take this guy out. Kind of fights us a little bit. Take out the rear thruster. We go ahead and feed that to the barge. Goodbye. And then we can get inside the rear section of the ship.
Salvage secured. Credits deposited.
And this is one of the many ways to access these anchor points here. But the reason I like to be back here when I do it is because then you can immediately remove this back panel. As you can see, one of the top panels is coming off too. I believe I got them all. And you can actually go through there too. And here I go, tilting my head again. I'm going to give myself a cramp. It's very disorienting being in 0G, even virtually.
Oxygen reserves are low.
I have
Reminder.
90
All right,
seconds,
Cutter.
but I only
Wrap
have
it up.
60
We got
seconds
about a
left.
minute left.
Only have 60 seconds left on the mission timer, so I'm going to ignore my oxygen
Valuable
needs,
object processed. Credits deposited.
and we're going to pull off the rear engine cap. And that gives you access to the inside, where you have things like fuel canisters, and in the very front of the ship, you'll see a power cell. By the way, detach that pipe from there, just for a little extra credits. This tether broke. Tethers have limited strength, by the way. The pipe section goes to the processor.
Warning. Oxygen reserves are critical.
Yes, I know. I only have 10 seconds. That guy goes down there.
Valuable object processed. Credits awarded.
And that's going to be it for this shift. So let's see how much we made. Oh, and I got my quota. Very good. Novice, new rank 5. So, I've got a whole bunch of upgrades that I could do. You can upgrade your tools. You could eventually buy your own tools. Now, for this mission, I made 1.6 million credits. The most expensive part was of course, the reactor, followed by the 2 engine nacelles, and the thruster. Everything else is just change, basically. But, once you get back to your hab, you'll see that it's not quite that simple. We didn't die, so we didn't have to be cloned and resurrected, but we do have interest on our loan, on our debt. We have to lease our bay. We have the transport fees, the cutter rental, the grapple rental, the hab rental, which is where we live, hab utilities, helmet rental, scanner rental, suit rental, and thruster rental. So out of all the money that we made, we have to give up around 500,000. Yeah. So I'm still in a significant portion of debt here. I've only taken about 8 million credits off of a 1 billion credit debt, and now we can upgrade our gear. Can't do it with that one, it's too expensive. Most of these are going to be a little bit too expensive. Grapple range I'm not too worried about. The brakes on my thrusters might be a good thing to, well, when I can afford it. Let's see, we can't afford anything yet. Looks like we only have 180 points, that's these things up here, to upgrade. And, well, I could do audio resynth. Would everyone be able to hear in space? Ooh, you could hear nearby hazards. That's a good thing. Okay. Now, what's our next certification? We're going to need to complete 12 work order objectives. We need to get 2 Class 1 reactors, get 2 thrusters Class 1, and make 13 million credits. Which sounds like a lot, it's really not. Okay, apparently we had more than one day? Whatever. Now that I have upgraded... Never mind, apparently. Oh, I'm rank 5. I have to be rank 6. Yeah. Alright, well, we'll go ahead and continue salvage on that other ship then. Why not? Yeah, you're gonna be doing these little mackerels for the first little bit in your game if you do career mode. Free play, I believe, lets you do any ship. I haven't done it yet because honestly, I really enjoy the career mode. By the way, if you're having trouble seeing, press L to turn on your headlamp. When you get into this compartment here, I like to just kind of float through and do that. Just be wary of the heat in your tools. It's only the cutting tool that could overheat, I believe. Things sound very different now that I can hear in space. That there is the coolant bath. We're not going to touch that just yet. Just wanted to make sure we got all of those anchor points. which should mean that we're just about ready to remove these side panels, but we are going to take the coolant container now. I'm trying to round peg square hole this thing, but there we go. And as you can see, by looking up, these panels are starting to break away, which is great. Let's not destroy the coolant. Perfect.
Salvage deposit accepted. Credits transferred.
Okay, put an anchor there. Quickly take that lamp.
Salvage secured. Account credit applied.
Yeah, I usually don't bother with the lights. I'm probably leaving money on the table by doing that, but what the fuck did I just do? Oh, whatever. Just get over there. There, you can go in.
Salvage secured. Credits deposited.
It's gonna make it, I hope. I've always liked the idea of having to take stuff apart. Probably because I've never been good at building things, but the idea of like disassembling something so that it goes into making something else, you know? I think that's why I really enjoy things like bone crafts and stuff at the Renaissance Fair and places like that. You're taking something that would normally be thrown away, but you're using it for something else. Man, those hippies were onto something.
Salvage secured. Account credit applied.
Another panel. Now this might be the airlock. Now the airlock I believe is on the other side. It is. So I can just go ahead and take this. Maybe. Yes. Very good. You do have a limited number of tethers. You can see in the top left I have 9 remaining. And we're starting to see the inside of the ship because technically the cockpit has been separated almost fully. In fact, I think it has been fully separated. Just need to get rid of some of these side panels. We're not going to throw the entire cockpit into the processor just yet, though. We still have stuff on the inside that needs to be taken.
Salvage secured.
Now
Credits
you can
deposited.
take these tiny lights too. I found that yeeting them down there really doesn't help. Like, they go oh, no, it worked. Maybe they updated it. Because yesterday when I was playing, they were just kind of going through the barge. There, like that. Okay, so they're not worth getting yet. Because they seem to just go right through. Okay, now it's time to show you guys Isaac Clarke mode. See this? This is just soft metal, soft interior plating. It's not as valuable, but we still want it. We still want to recycle every bit. So, you take out your plasma cutter, and you go to town on it. And you can switch vertical, horizontal. It is basically Dead Space. I believe I've gotten all of it. So, yeah. Look at those clean cuts. And you can cut it into just about every shape and size, too. It's pretty amazing, actually. And it's stuck on this rebar here. So let's bring it down. Why is it not cooperating? Come on. And it's just gonna yeet off into deep space and start spinning the rest of the ship. That's great. No, that's awesome. That's totally what I wanted to do. Did I mention this game is still in development?
Material deposited.
Ah, this is a problem. Oh, I need more air. By the way, if you ever want to get somewhere quicker, just grapple it and hold the right mouse button. This is why I upgraded my brakes. Alright, now, a significant chunk of our ship has been pushed kind of off kilter, which is okay. No big disaster. We are going in here now. Switch back to the Stinger mode, as it is called. Oh, and there's the power cell. You want to give the power cell a bit of a wide berth, because it likes to arc. Very good.
Salvage secured. Account credit applied.
Get rid of that. That. By the way, as your tool degrades in quality, you will see it starts to get a little more grungy looking, which I think is pretty cool. Take this light off. Just let it kind of float nearby. Probably a bad idea. Don't care. Oh no. And there's a crash. That's not good. Alright, so for some reason it's having me start over. Apparently it didn't save the fact that I was working on a ship. I don't know. Saucy Charon, that's a great name. We'll do that. Oh yeah, so usually the first thing you're going to want to do before anything else is you're going to want to just go over here and pluck off the antenna. Like you'd pull the ornaments off of a car or something, and wow, this is different looking.
Salvage secured. Credits deposited.
Ooh, new objectives. Reactor, power cell, salvage electrical, mechanical, nanocarbon, and metal. Interesting. Expedient Express. Well, it still has engine nacelles, so... where's the anchor point? Unless it's this thing. Ooh, yeah. It looks like it. That's interesting. I'm pretty sure this is still the same type of ship as before. Yeah, I have had this game crash on me one other time while I was playing yesterday, which, you know, it's in development. Still early access. Crashes and bugs are to be expected. No big deal. Huh. I do wonder if that's... Well, that's like a brace. Is this... Well, this goes to the processor. But... is this actually attached to the thruster? It does not appear to be. Oh well. Yeet! Ah, no. You, calm down. Okay, now you can yeet.
Valuable object processed. Credits deposited.
Oh, looks like you are separate. Very good. That means you can go yeet as well. Oh yeah, it's so satisfying just seeing parts get shipped off. Now, how do we remove these engines? Danger. Well, the anchor points appear to be inside, so let's get in. Well, first let's just... Oh yeah, look at that beautiful shot of Earth and the really crowded stellar community we built for ourselves. O'Neill cylinders and space habitats, and looks like a bigger ship-breaking outpost, which is awesome. If you don't know what an O'Neill cylinder is, I recommend looking up on YouTube a man named Isaac Arthur, I believe his name is. He explains them very well and how they could potentially be our future in space as opposed to, I don't want to blow that yet, as opposed to colonizing other planets. Basically how they're more practical than colonizing other worlds. Namely because you could have hundreds of thousands of them in our stellar neighborhood alone, without ever having to leave the solar system. Because the materials are locally sourced, and you don't need to worry about alien atmospheres and stuff like that. Looks like there's more of this stuff. Oh. Right, so I guess I should also mention your stinger and everything, it's too weak to penetrate the outer hull. That's why you need to get inside and detach it. You can't just cut the whole ship up. Well, I'm not sure. That must just be for this, yeah. So this ship's got some extra bracing on it that we get to just throw into the processor for more money, which is okay by me. Yeet!
Valuable object processed. Credits awarded.
You. Uh-oh, it's stuck on something. Never mind, it's good. Oh. Where do you think you're going? I'll tell you where you're going. Let's see, I should be able to just fling this in that general direction and it should go in. You don't always need a tether, but
Valuable object
they're
processed.
definitely useful.
Credits awarded.
As a tutorial will tell you, tethers are your friends. Bye. Oh dear. It broke apart. Oh yeah, your YEET button, it's got a pretty decent range on it. Did I ever detach this fully yet? I sure did. Oh yeah. Oh my god, you guys are probably giving me weird looks, but oh my god, is that satisfying to just take this whole thing just straight off. What a graceful sight that is.
Processing valuable object.
Shadowed.
Credits awarded.
Warning. Your oxygen reserves are dropping below statistically profitable levels.
Yeah. The corporation doesn't give a shit about you. This game is part shipbreaking simulator and part extreme corporate planet Earth simulator.
Welcome to Vendatron 9000. Thank you for your
Oxygen levels stabilizing.
I won't spoil the intro or anything, but it's great. I'm not sure what these are. I'm guessing it's called jacks. Maybe it's to keep ships from crashing into the salvage yard. It reminds me of some kind of barricade, but you would think that would just make those things more dangerous because all
Your
momentum
pressure
is perfectly
levels dropping.
preserved in space, proportionate to the size of the objects, so if something big enough
Your
smacked
lock
into
pressure
those
levels
things, it would just send those things flying. But whatever, I'm not here to argue with the company.
Air pressure level decreasing.
Okay, we are
Your lock
depressurized.
pressure levels dropping.
You can't actually repair your gear while you're out doing stuff, unfortunately. You have to do that between shifts. What's this? A data drive. That's lovely. Alright, before we get too excited about anything else, let's go ahead and free up the reactor room. Hello, what's this for? Engineering console. What did that do? What is that sound? That's probably the sound of the,
You got 5 minutes left in this shift. Knock out that work order before they turn the lights out on you. We were out.
it's probably just the synthesized sound for the hazards, namely this reactor. Anyway.
Valuable objects processed. Credits
Oh, that's not
awarded.
good. Do not want to... Oh, come on. Get down there. Go, please. Good. This game might not be for everyone, but I could see myself sinking hours into it. I already have. But I'm talking like 1,000 hours of this game, especially if they keep adding new ships. Or if there's a community ship design. Now that would be awesome. Devs, I hope you're
Valuable
listening.
objects processed.
Why would they be listening to
Credits
me? I've got
deposited.
30 subscribers. All these crates.
Salvage deposit accepted.
They want
Credits
that.
transferred.
Here I go, tilting my head again. Gonna get myself cramped. And the music in this game is just great. Just really chill, kind of acoustic guitars. Gives me that RimWorld kind of... oh god, I'm gonna embarrass myself now.
Salvage deposit accepted. Credits transferred.
Firefly, that's the series I was thinking of. Gives me that kind of vibe. Shift's over. 1 million credits. So that's Hardspace Shipbreaker. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm going to be making probably some more videos once I get to some larger ship types, so we don't have to just keep doing the same mackerels. I could do free play, but I kind of like the whole discovery through career mode. So that's going to be it for this video. I'm Foxy Games. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.